you wrote recently that California Governor Gavin Newsome continues to push fracking in the Latino communities. Why are Latino communities so hard hit by Newsome's love affair with dirty energy?
So the main reason is that in the county in which the fracking and the drilling takes place, the epicenter, we can say, in California, one of them at least, is in Kern County. And Kern County has, I don't know what the percentage is, but one of the major fields within Kern County, the one we're talking about, it's 97% of so it's the Lost Hills field, it's called, in Kern County. 97% of the community is Latino. Oh, and the 70% of that community works in the agriculture industry. That's because beyond being an oil epicenter, Kern County is also an agricultural epicenter. It's in the Central Valley area of California, which is known for its agricultural production. So lots of, talk about disproportionality in California and, Texas as well, and probably the whole United States. Workers are of Latino background, by far the largest percentage. And so that is, putting those two things together, that this is an agricultural mecca and this is also an oil drilling mecca, means that the people who live in these communities are Latino. And so, Lost Hills is just like a very extreme example. Lost Hills, California, a 2,500 person town, where 97% of the community is Latino. It's the sixth biggest oil field in the state. And since April, the Newsom administration has now given 48 different fracking permits to two different companies now, Chevron and Era Energy, which is a joint venture.
How can it even be considered progressive? Can't we? I mean, there should be some standards in order to consider somebody progressive, right? And giving out fracking permits should be a deal breaker. No,
he would say, "Oh, we put a moratorium in. We studied the impacts. Here's what it said, and we determined that it's okay for XYZ company to do it." So they did this whole song and dance with the moratorium that was in place from November all the way through early April, and then while lots of people's attention was on the COVID crisis, right, is the first couple of weeks where people were really, wow, this is sweeping through the country, this is sweeping through the state. That's when he issued his first 24 permits. And then what did he do the second? Look at the timing. The second time was June 1st. It was on the day where he gave a big speech on race and racism, and right, that was during the uprising, the Black Lives Matter. You
can't say Black Lives Matter and then frack the shit out of where people of color live.
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the environmental justice movement is saying in California and the groups that are working on this. And so, so I think that it's just, for him, it's, in all politicians, it's important to separate words from deeds, or even good deeds from bad deeds, right? Like, he could be doing something, he could be acting responsibly in some ways on the coronavirus, as the state was at the beginning, but then doing other bad things. So it's like important to kind of separate each action and analyze it. Both like look at the whole picture, look at them together, but also look at them in of themselves. And I think that's really important with a person like Newsom, who of course is probably a future presidential candidate. I think going back full circle in our conversation, that's why it's important to follow these people when governor is no small position, especially in a state like California, but it's important.
And a good looking governor. Everyone likes a TV appropriate president. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. But so it's definitely something to keep our eyes on in California.
Is there any indication that Governor Newsom, outside of the fracking, has, more progressive environmental leanings, or is he sort of corporate all the way?
That's a good it's mixed.
Get back to me. We'll do that later.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. It's mixed, we'll say. Yeah, I mean, because we talked about the geoengineering side of things, and there's that happening with his administration, but it's not, there's definitely other things too. Yeah, we'll talk. Let's definitely drill down.
Yeah, let's do a deep dive, because we should be first on this. In case he does run for president after, in 2024, which I have a feeling is going to be an open road too at that point. Oh boy. We're speaking with Steve Horn, climate reporter from the Real News Network. Steve, thanks for coming on with us, and thanks for all the great work that you do over there.
Absolutely. It was great to come back on.
You're watching Act TV. I'm Julianna Forlano. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. You can follow Act TV across all our platforms, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, and you'll get, the kind of progressive talk that the internet is so lacking in. At least when you compare it to all the right-wing loonies that are out there.